Okay, good evening. It is Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, 5:30 PM. I will call, with the quorum present, I will call the Economic Development Committee meeting to order. First on the agenda is public comment. Do we have anyone here for public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 2, approval of the minutes from the February 4th, 2025 meeting. Has everyone had a chance to look them over? Anyone have any questions? Anything that needs to be?
Move to approve.
Okay, motion to approve by Alder Henke, second by Alder Tierney. All in favor? Aye. Okay. That motion is passed. Agenda item number 3, Habitat for Humanity Affordable Housing Partnership Proposal and Sale of 727 Jefferson Street. Ms. Stratz.
Hello. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. It just started a half an hour ago. So we're excited to present a great possibility, and this actually came out of the failing of our accepting the bid that we had for the modular home project on Bridge Street. Tiffany from Habitat for Humanity called up and said, hey, what do you think about this? And we met and we talked, and I hope you get as excited as I was. So I want to bring Tiffany Arnold up from Habitat for Humanity. Mike Heckendorf is the construction manager, and then John Evans is the board president. So they're welcome to come up or sit, whatever they want to do. But in your packet is their proposal of possibly purchasing a modular home, as we were hoping to do, and place it on one of our city lots. What we were able to do is partner with them and use our community development block grant funds like we were going to do with the modular home. We can utilize those funds to purchase the modular home. Then they would take it and work their magic. They would purchase one of our lots, and in the packet you'll see that they're proposing to purchase 727 Jefferson, which is directly across from the lot that they're going to be putting a new home on this year. And if everything works great, as it will, we'll have 2 homes in that neighborhood by the end of the year. So they're here to answer any of your questions, to promote this. We're pretty excited. I love working on projects with these guys because they get things done. So any questions?
How did you guys get such a deal on a modular home?
A construction manager.
Because as wonderful as Tammy is and the miracle worker she is, they just wouldn't bend for her at all.
Well, in our packet, the modular home was about $140,000. It was everything else that you had to do that brought it up to the $300,000. Where Habitat has the volunteers, they can build a garage where we had to hire. They get, professionals that help them with things. So that's the big difference.
Can you do like 5 more for us?
We would like to do a pilot project for 1 year and then see where it goes.
Thank you.
I'm John Evans, the current president, and just wanted to cover a couple things. First of all, we want to thank the city of Wausau, because we've done 73 homes. We have 74 and 75 being built at area high school trade classes, and this proposal would be 76. Of the 73 homes, 46 of them have gone in the city of Wausau, or 60% of what we've done. So we're very pleased on our working relationship with the staff and the city of Wausau, what we're able to do. Not only the homeownership that we've been able to provide 73 people, but when we take an underutilized or a lot that has no generation of revenue, we put a house on it, and the last couple of houses have all been assessed at in the area of $200,000. So immediately you see a tax impact the following year into the coffers, which supports the community, which we also enjoy. But this proposal is exciting to us, as Tiffany said, a pilot program to make sure we can make it work, to make sure it works for the city, and that we could expand from there. So Tiffany, I'll let you maybe just briefly go through it.
Well, thank you guys very much. I'm Tiffany Arnold. I'm the executive director here at Habitat Wausau. We are really excited about the specific neighborhood that we are looking at, partly because we already have one Habitat home planned for it for this summer. And also we are looking to host our Rock the Block event, which is a neighborhood revitalization effort, and we're looking at targeting that same neighborhood. And we really think 2 homes in that neighborhood could really be an asset to the community. The proposal that you'll see, we looked at 3 separate modular home builders. We didn't necessarily identify the specific ones. We are working through a few details because through our Habitat network, we actually have the ability to purchase direct through another Habitat in the state of Wisconsin. We've also looked at quality homes up in Irma with the economic development team, and they have very competitive pricing as well. So I think we've got some really great options and still have plenty of time to make a purchase before we would need to get in, to meet the deadline and the timeline that we've put forward. We think it's very achievable for us to be able to have a family in that home by the end of the year. Yes.
Per Tammy's exclamation, I hope you're as excited as we are. Yes, we are. I am as excited as she is. Anytime Habitat will join the city and build a home for the people who need it, I think it's wonderful, and the work you do is exceptional, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Killian. Other questions, comments? Alder Gisselman?
So the design hasn't been, because that's a unique neighborhood as well, I'm sure that you know that, but, you know, I'm just sort of saying something that, a design that fits into the neighborhood. I'm very sensitive to, you know, projects coming into a neighborhood where they really don't fit.
Absolutely.
And I just, just a word, you know, for designs that are quite complementary to that older neighborhood. I guess that's just my wish. Thank you.
Absolutely. I did put a couple pictures of our most recent homes in the packet. The one that's noted on the front cover was actually our home 73, and that home is over on 2nd Street here in Wausau. And so that one's very similar to some of the other homes that we have designed. And one of the other ones, I believe, is on the bottom of, I think I had a, sorry, I thought I had a few more pictures in there. Yes, on the very back page, there's a red house. Our homeowners generally get to select the colors of their siding, but this one was a kind of a unique one. But there is another picture of one of our home 71, that was put in a few years ago. And those houses are also built in a modular design. Habitat prides itself in our trades education program where we do on-site modular school builds. So while this particular home wouldn't be one of ours, the design, I think, would be very comparable to what you've seen from other homes from us. Mm-hmm.
Other questions?
I just want to echo Alder Killian in saying that we really appreciate the work you do here in Wausau. The people that would not otherwise be able to afford a home, a house, get to do that because of your work, and I'm sure that they are so proud that they're able to do this. Thank you so much, and thank you, Tammy, for working with them to solve some solutions for us. Thank you.
Alder Hinkie?
Yeah, thanks. I'd just like to echo what everyone else has said, and I know through work we came and volunteered one day, and I think I put siding on a couple of these houses, so I recognize them. But other than that, I'll move to approve this.
I'll second.
Is there a second? Okay. And I just wanted to add my gratitude as well. Yeah, the work that you do is wonderful. It's a definite need, and I'm a teacher during the day, so I also find, you're partnering with the schools really exciting. So thank you all so very much, and Tammy too, for all of your work in all of this. So I think it's really exciting. So with a motion by Alder Hinkie and a second by Alder Tierney, all in favor? Aye. No opposed? Okay, then that motion is passed.
Thank you all
Thank
so
you.
very much on behalf of Habitat for your continued partnership on our projects.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to agenda item 4, request for qualifications for partnership for housing on infill lots in the city of Wausau.
So this item partners, kind of goes hand in hand with our last item. As you know, we've been trying to figure out how to do an infill lot on Bridge Street. We have now talked to a couple of manufactured contractors and builders to figure out how can we get something on Bridge Street more economical. And they both told us that to put out a bid like we did before is very difficult because it's not always apples to apples. So we thought if we could put out a request for qualifications, we can come up with a couple of contractors that work with the modular homes and manufactured homes, and they can help us figure out how can we best fit a good home in the neighborhood, what will fit in that lot, because all lots are different. How can we build a garage? How can we do certain things without doing an RFP because RFP is very strict. And they have to bid apples to apples. This gives us the ability to work with them, and they can help us bring the cost down and make it a little more feasible for what can go on those lots. And we're hoping to get a couple of them. I believe we will get at least 2 with the ones that we've been talking to because they both were very excited. We'd get the qualifications, and then if we have several of them, we might be able to get 3, 4, 5 houses done at the same time, especially once Thomas Street is ready to go, we can go. That's the goal versus going, okay, we're going to do this and let's put a request for proposals and we get no bids. If we have someone that we can work close with, we'll be able to keep the cost down and hopefully get a better price if we're able to do 3 at a time versus 1 at a time. Does it make sense?
Questions, Alder Killian?
Thank you. Is this request for qualifications just for Bridge Street, or is it for all infill?
It's for all infill parcels.
And I did pose some of these questions to Andrew prior to the meeting, but I wanted to also confirm this with Randy. You've got on here, for example, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage. Would it be more beneficial to have on there 2 bedrooms, 1-car garage under your example bullet, just so that they realize that you are being more flexible? And because an estimate on a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage is certainly going to come in higher. And I know at the input meetings on Thomas Street, we had several proposals, and some of them were for 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1-car garage. And it feels to me that with the request for qualifications and just that one example, it might not feel as flexible as it should be. So you will know better than I if it would be wise to have something on there showing that you're going to be more flexible.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. The idea is that we're really looking for our general contractor on this, and then we're going to look to them to see what best fits on a specific lot. We talked about the Bridge Street example quite a bit, but in that example we had, it was $144,000 for the modular home. I think we had a price for the garage of around $44,000. We don't know what the excavation was. There's a lot of things that we don't know. By working with a general contractor, we can say, well, what if we went slab on grade? How does that affect our cost? What if we changed out this? What if we want more insulation? Working with a professional that can give us a better idea of providing some flexibility in the process other than saying, we want this exact thing. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with making any changes to that. That's fine with that example, just so they're aware that we're looking and open to more flexible. And there are going to be a variety of different 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom homes that we're hopefully going to be building out of this.
I know at the public input meetings on Thomas Street that, they showed different sizes and different options for homes. So I thought that if there was some flexibility shown, that it would be more beneficial. I also wanted to ask, I I know it says in here that they could do 2 a year, up to 7 a year. Would it be wise in here to ask, now I know you will be working with them and negotiating all these things, but if somebody says, I'd like to do 7, would it be wise to put in here that we want them to show us what it would cost for them to do 2 versus 7? Because oftentimes more volume means less price. So in the request for qualifications, can you ask them?
Sure.
Can you do 2, if you do 2 or if you do 7, what would the price difference be? So I thought that that just might be, since we're trying really hard to get homes for families that can't normally afford them, I think that would be a good idea if you do.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we could do something in reference, ask them in reference to scaling, how scalable their projects are. I've talked to a couple different builders, and if they do 1 versus 3, there's a significant cost savings of doing 3 versus 1. So maybe we can include something to the effect of talking about scalability, and what they're, just have them provide a narrative, or if they can provide numbers. And I want to be clear, we're not going to come back, they're not going to come back and say $200,000 is the number. They're really going to show us, like, I've got experience doing this, I've worked on these other projects, this is what it, how we got to where we are. And then we'll be able to work with them on the financials of it, making it work.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
a good suggestion.
Thank you, Alder Killian. Other questions? Alder Gisselman.
Just thinking outside the box, that's a small, thinking about the Bridge Street lot, that's a fairly small, I mean, why don't we just give it to the park department for an Annie's Tot lot?
They don't want it.
They don't,
It's one
Well-
more thing they'd have to manage.
well, I know, but
It is a 60 by 140 lot, so it is a normal width
it
lot.
is because it
just
looks smaller
tiny.
on the lot.
It does look tiny, but it is actually 60 by 140.
So
because
what
120
makes
is normal.
it so difficult then?
I think it's because of the Bridge Street location. Bringing in a home is not so
Into that
easy. Yeah, and
traffic
the
area.
2 homes that are right next to it is daunting. But that's where, when you work with a professional, they can eyeball exactly where they need to do it, how do they have to
Right, okay.
configure it. And then what about the trees? How many trees do we have to take down, if any? Chances are we might have to do something, but that's where they can work with us specifically with each lot.
Because I was thinking, what else, if it's that difficult a lot to deal with, then why, what else can we possibly do?
It's more of because it's on Bridge Street. That's why Habitat didn't want it. That's why we even offered to sell it to the neighbors. They didn't want it. We tried
Okay.
to do stuff with that one. We couldn't give it away. Because of, we always have to think tax base too. We'd love to finally put something there. We need housing. Let's see what we can do to, maybe it's a small house, maybe it's a 2-bedroom, 1-car garage. But let's see what we can do to get it back on the tax roll and get it to be in working order again.
Thank you. I saw, Mike, I saw you nodding your head. Well, both of you, did you want to
I
add?
really have to speak on that lot, 'cause it comes up a lot. It is, like Tammy said, it's the logistics of it. You're building off a main busy street. So like in our case, we have volunteers, and the volunteers' safety aspect is paramount for also bringing a modular home in. If you've ever seen it, we take up a whole city block. Like, we will shut down Jefferson Street, the entire thing. How do you shut down Bridge Street when you're trying to put a modular home in? We shut Bridge Street down probably be 4 or 5 hours. Logistically, also, if I remember right, there's power lines right down Bridge Street. So you're loading that you don't crane up and over. So yeah, it's just logistic nightmare from that aspect of it, that's why. Now, slab and grade infill, conventional construction, possibly. But it's just, that's why Habitat hasn't addressed it on our end, because just, we look at, unfortunately, the safety aspect and the cost of moving a home like that. So that's why.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Other questions? Alder Henke.
Just kind of procedural question, I guess. anyone who applies, that would come back to us, I'm assuming, or would that just be in your guys' office and to use?
As for, when you say,
This request for qualification, if people submit qualifications, that would come back and we would have to vote on all that?
correct.
Okay. And, all right, and that's all I had.
Okay, Alder Killian?
Thank you. I know Randy will be bringing an update to us on the Thomas Street lots, but I'm wondering, since this is in regard to Thomas Street as well, should it be indicated on here that the DNR is proceeding to do their phase 2 and these lots will be cleaned up? So that, I mean, if you I'm wondering if that should be mentioned on there or not.
Well, independent of that process, we've got other infill lots within the city that are available right now that we could build on. And that's why we built in some of the flexibility within this, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, however it ends up being. The idea is that if this is successful, obviously we'll kind of find out this is new territory for us. You know, we've done the RFBs, or requests for bids, in the past, finding that we've got to dig a little deeper to find a way to make it work in today's economy with prices. The idea is that if this works, that we can continue to do this and fill up all those houses on Thomas Street. It's really going to be dependent on when Thomas Street is cleaned up and we get the thumbs up from the DNR to go ahead on building. So this will be used for Thomas Street, but it's not Thomas Street dependent, if that
Right,
makes
but
sense.
I just thought maybe you could just put some point in there that lots will be available on Thomas Street and that they are being environmentally tested and cleaned up because of the grant for the DNR, so that they're aware that those lots will, I mean, just so, it feels as though a lot of people have issues, and I did talk to the gentleman from Habitat before the meeting, and he said, if we know, you know, he mentioned to me that they might be interested in those Thomas Street lots if indeed they were cleaned up. So I just thought maybe just a note
Yeah.
in here might be a positive thing. If
Yeah, and I could-
if you don't think it's appropriate,
I could see us putting in like what our current inventory is, so they have an idea of where they all are. I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's what, I agree. I think that would
Okay.
work good.
thank you, Tammy.
Any others? Alder Killian, you are filled with lots of good questions tonight. You usually are, but anyway, anything else? If not, then you're looking for a motion on this, correct?
please.
To approve, so do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion
Okay, so this would be a motion
to approve.
qualifications for Partnership for Housing on Infill Lots in the city of Wausau, correct?
Yes.
And a second, so motion by Alder Tierney,
I'll second.
second by Alder Henke.
And
Oh,
I'd just like to add, just with Alder Killian's comments noted in there.
Oh, yep,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, with Alder Killian's comments added in, then her suggestions. Okay. Then all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, so then that motion is passed. Number 5 on the agenda is request for council endorsement on Fair Housing Month events. So as long as you're up at the microphone.
Thank you. So as the memo mentions, April is Fair Housing Month. With the federal funds that we have, federal government does ask that we do promote fair housing. We haven't been the best at doing it in the past, but through our committee from the Affordable Housing Task Force, they thought it might be a great opportunity to do something. They've been taking this and running with it, and I want to thank Shannon because she's really helping put this together. So in the memo, it kind of talks about our proposed events. We don't have exact dates. We've got some dates. We don't have exact locations because we're working on all that. And obviously, it'll be on our website. We'll be pushing it Facebook. We'll be pushing it however we push things. I'm not the social media person. So that we can get buy-in and people to attend these. We would love to have all of you to attend. so that we're actually meeting with the Hmong American Center tomorrow to see how we can help them, or have them help promote it. We're meeting with Ola, I believe, the following week. So we're trying to get all languages out there that we can, so that they understand what is fair housing, what does it mean? Not only just fair housing, but affordability, what does that mean? Because we've got everybody asking what is affordable, and that is a hard nut to crack and explain. So if we have people all together, we're hoping that we'll be able to do a better job at educating and promoting our housing opportunities. Shannon wants to add some.
Yeah, all dates and times are set and
Okay.
locations, except for the last item, which is the awards.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We're looking at doing a poster contest with school kids of what does fair housing look like. We have what is our title?
Won't
would
you
you
be
be-
won't you be my neighbor? Access, opening doors for all. Yes.
So won't you be my neighbor? I love that part. So we're hoping to have that out there, and the kids can do their posters, and then we will be able to judge them and have some awards for the winners.
And that link is available on the website as well right now. There is a fair housing page out there, but it's not very updated with information. But there is a banner on the homepage of our website that has the information about the contest and how to submit your entries, if you want to share, anyway.
So we're just looking for council to endorse our activities so that we can move forward with them.
Thank you. So questions? Oh, Alder Henke.
Not really questions, but I'm all for this, and I'll let my other council members speak on it if they'd like to.
Any questions, comments?
If not, I'll make a motion to approve it. Sure.
So motion by Henke, second by Alder Killian. I'm all for it too. I think this is really exciting. Thank you for all your work on it. So a motion to approve or to endorse the Fair Housing Month events. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so that is approved.
Thank you. I'm
so
going to sit
much.
down now.
Thank you again. So number 6 on the agenda, update on Thomas Street infill and WHAM grant.
Yeah, so just want to continue, just so that everybody's aware of what's going on with Thomas Street infill. It's there's a lot of interest in it. Not a whole lot to update on. The DNR is waiting to get a proposal from Ramble. Ramble is the contractor that handled the phase 1 analysis. They're waiting to get a proposal from them in order to engage them on phase 2 testing. So we're still in that waiting process. I'm hopeful that things will get a little more expedited on this. It's kind of a long process, and we're eager to get to a point where we have some better information to share and a better idea of what's out there. Happy to take any questions.
Alder Killian.
Not a question, but Randy, I wanted to tell you thank you. You have been providing regular updates on Thomas Street where that wasn't done before, and I really do appreciate that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Other questions, comments? Okay, and that's just an update, so you
Yep.
don't need anything from us, correct? So next on the agenda then, rescheduling the Economic Development Committee meeting scheduled for April 1st.
So April 1st is spring election day. This room will be utilized for that. We're looking to move the meeting to the following day, which would be Wednesday, April 2nd, if everybody is okay with that.
I won't be able to make it, but I wouldn't be able to make it until end of April, so I'm gonna be able for those first 2 weeks.
So that date work for everyone else? Okay, me too, looks like, so, okay, April 2nd then, at 5:30.
5:30?
Is that, okay. All right, then moving on to number 8, next meeting is a joint meeting with Finance Committee on March 11th, so looks like it'll be a small group pretty much, right? I mean, all of us and who else? Is there someone else? I don't know. But anyway, does that work?
Mike and Becky, I think.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we're doing the joint meeting in order to review the proposed development agreement for 700 grand. Since both those committees see that we have such an overlap of members, it makes the most sense to be reviewing that at the same time. So we'll get you some more information on that. I don't think it'll affect finance timing too much, but try to get those both together and have that in front of you.
Okay, so that's next week already. Okay. Okay, and then, if there's nothing else, any last questions, comments, anything? Okay, then looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn by Alder Hinkie, second, or do we need a second? I don't think so, do we? I don't know, I'm having a senior moment. Well, yeah, okay. All in favor of
Aye.
adjournment? Aye. Thank you so much. It's been a long day. It's gonna be a long week. Yeah, that's
The other thing is, if it wasn't so overcast, I would still be light out right now. It's a very nice change. More light out.
I know, it really is.
I love after December 21st. It's like just,
I know.
you instantly feel it.
Give me till January, like end of January, you start to notice it.
It starts to little by little, right. I know.
Well, daylight savings is,